Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Plan B Success. We have Christian Lovrecich today with us, and he is the founder of Lovrecich Media.
Lovrecich Media and Pixlfeed, correct.
Absolutely, and Pixlfeed is his YouTube channel, as well as Pixlfeed Radio is where he does podcasts. What Christian does is he works with entrepreneurs, those that are growing, those that are doing 6, 7, 8 figures and looking to scale, in terms of teaching them everything that is there to know about digital advertising and digital marketing, especially Facebook ads and all kinds of ads that nowadays we need to do in order to market ourselves. So that's what Christian specializes in. That's what he supports his community with. And let's find out from Christian what else he does. So welcome, Christian.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we know you as a digital marketer and advertiser, but let's step back a little bit. Where did you start your career? What did you start doing when you really started making money?
When I really started making real money is when I started my first business. I was 22, 23. I mean, I was always doing something. I had jobs that, oh my God, I got fired from so many jobs growing up. It's ridiculous. Just because, I always thought I could do it better, right? Or I just didn't like it. It was just survival mode, and then always having something on the side. You know what I mean? And then, I opened my first business, my real business, when I was 23 in Dallas, Texas. And that was, car restoration company. We specialized in restoring cars, and, that went great. That's when I really started picking up, the marketing side of things, success to get new clients. And this is this is 2003. So, Google and, Google was the only game in town. Facebook wasn't, open to everybody like it is now. It was pretty much the only game in town, and we had Yahoo, and that's pretty much it. But I was still doing the old school sales, door knocking, cold calling, flyers, It's funny because I ended up, now I do this for other companies and I do it for myself, but I was late. I didn't adapt everything until Facebook became public. Over a decade ago. That's when I really, it got on my radar. I always knew that I wanted to do something with digital, but I just didn't know what. And I was so busy with my business at the time that I was dealing with the actual business instead of dealing with let me play with Google and see if I can figure this out. You know what I mean? I always hired people to take care of all that stuff for me. And then once the big crash in 2010, I had to shut down the business, and I took a year off. I think it was a year off to decide what I wanted to do. And then I started working with this company, helping them with marketing, and that's what Fueled the Fire again. And then that's what they were actually selling stuff online. So that's what Fueled the Fire, I guess you could call it. And Facebook ads became public, and I was already hooked on Facebook, and that was it, man. The rest is history. After that, it was just I went deep down the rabbit hole, and I had an argument with the owners of that company. Gave me a lot of money, so I was like, you know what, I'll start my own. And that was my first website that I launched, and it was a big disaster because I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. And from there, I just kept learning and moving on, launched new stores from that, and then sold some of them. I still have one that's very successful, and that's when people started approaching me, to do it for them. So I started doing consulting, and one thing led to the other, and started running ads for other companies. Had some lead gen, but mainly e-commerce. I specialize really in e-commerce. Like you said in the intro, grabbing stores that are already doing proven sales. They have a proven product or a funnel, and then taking it to the next level with Facebook ads, and then whatever other platforms are needed.
A lot of people actually experiment with Facebook ads. They end up losing a lot of money.
Yep.
Before, they see any returns. It's very technical, isn't it? Well, let me put it this way. For the creative people, it may be a bunch of screens and going through the screens and doing all that tagging, etc. It's pretty technical. And I have met a lot of creative people who are not interested in that side of the business. But it yet needs to be done. It's a necessity, right? It's a necessary evil.
Absolutely. I mean, I refer to him as the evil empire. I joke around all the time because, for some reason Facebook caught my radar because it just became public at the time. And, the CPMs, that's cost per 1,000 impressions, was dirt cheap because nobody was advertising on it. I mean, these were the golden days where you could literally spend $10 and make two grand back in one day with a t-shirt, just because there was no competition. And it's become such a huge behemoth, and, they have 2 billion, active users, that, they control the market. I mean, Google can compete a little bit with them, but it's still, depending on the product, they got a stronghold in the market of whatever niche, you're going into, and the amount of data that they have on everyone, it's amazing. I mean, it just brings the results. And, they control a lot of things. They have a lot of say when it comes to your ads and your traffic and all that stuff, for sure.
What do you think about the other platforms like LinkedIn ads and Amazon ads and all that?
Well, they're all good. They're all good. I mean, you gotta use, the platform that matches your product, right? So, for example, what's the best for Facebook? It's gonna be D2C, direct to consumer. That's why I love e-commerce. It's like, here's my product, buy it. They have all the data. They know who's gonna convert, and they buy your product. I've seen people go in there and try to sell, an accounting seminar in Manhattan, that kind of stuff. You go to LinkedIn, right? That's where your professional accountants are hanging out, all day long if they're hanging out on social media. People who are on Facebook all day long, it's people who are wasting their time. I hate to say it like that because I use it too, and I have groups that I'm part of for work and all that stuff. But, let's face it. Most of the time that people spend on Facebook, it's arguing with others about politics, looking at pictures of their kids or their grandkids, and, maybe talking to some of their friends. They're not there for anything productive. You're interrupting their day with a product or a service. So you're not on the radar. When somebody's on Google, for example, they're actively seeking for a solution to their problem. So I like to use the example of, like, if a pipe breaks in your house, are you going to go to Google to search for a plumber, or are you going to go to Facebook? You're going to go to Google because you need an answer right now at this exact second. So that's when Google comes in. Even though that I specialize in Facebook, and that's what I do best, I have other people that work for me that do Google and the other platforms. I like, depending on the product or the service, I use a little bit of both. There's some products where Google is the main source of traffic, and then I go back and do what's called retargeting, with Facebook. Because that's, when they're wasting their time on the platform, but they already know who you are. So if they see an ad, they're more likely to convert.
And what about Amazon advertising? Can you talk through that?
Amazon advertising, I personally don't know much about it. The thing with Amazon, like, FBA, I believe it's called FBA, I know a little bit about it. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at all. You can make a lot of money. People can make a lot of money with Facebook advertising, but that's more of a keyword targeted platform inside their ecosystem. You're not going to appear on Google or Facebook. It's for people actively searching Amazon, and you're basically paying per keyword to place your ad at the top of the search. Kind of like Google, but it's inside of Amazon pretty much.
Right. So, a lot of entrepreneurs who are just getting started, there's this new wave around not really going in advertising, but trying to organically, build your funnel, so to speak, right? And they're doing it through, either interacting with posts on Facebook or building groups and that kind of stuff. How far do you think that goes? And what would be your honest recommendation in terms of paying for ads? What's the right time or the right strategy to do that?
Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you, and I tell this to everyone has a misconception of, it's Facebook. I use it every day. I'll throw some money at it, and then it'll bring magical results to me. That is not the case. Facebook is actually one of the most complicated platforms to advertise on. There's a combination of more than 120 type of campaigns that you can run depending on what your objectives are. So it's not as easy as Facebook makes it seem. They're very good at selling you. It's like, hey, throw some money at this post and just boost it, right? That's something you can do if you're using the right strategy, but it's not going to work every single time. So if you're one of those people that are starting out, the first mistake that I see people make is that they go in there. Let me use an example here. Who can I use that? real estate agents. Real estate agents are the worst. And I get hate from real estate agents because I say it. They're the worst at marketing, mostly. 99% of them are worse at marketing, which is crazy to me because their whole job is to sell something and market the houses and all that. So what they do is all they tend to post is like, I sold a house, or this person bought a house for me. Here's a picture of me with the title, right? For you to get engagement and to grow your organic reach and to become an expert in your field, you have to share your knowledge. So I tell agents all the time, it's like, don't go in there and just show off when you sell a house and when somebody buys a house from you. How about you grab your phone and while you're walking through a house, just talk about what you look for when you're buying a house or what to do when you're selling a house. Share that knowledge. And the more you share that knowledge, eventually you're going to build a following, right? And people are going to start reaching out to you, especially locally. So let's say you're doing locally, and I keep using Facebook as an example because I've done this a million times, but let's say you do 3 posts a day, which is not hard. Take 2 pictures while you're out showing houses and then do 1 video, walking by a house or giving a tip about, whatever, that you know. That's it. Then after a month, you're going to start, you see the algorithm's going to start pushing you. The algo is going to start pushing you and people are going to start following you. Mm-hmm. Now, here's where the kicker comes in. Like I just brought up, the boosted post. This is when you use a boosted post. So most real estate agents, they deal with local. They have what's called a farming area. Usually it's 15 miles or 20 miles or whatever it is. Then you grab that, you go on your business page, and you can actually see there's an analytics section inside your business page on Facebook, and it shows you which ones are your best performing posts. You grab that one. Then you boost that one by $1 a day, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually learned this from a guy called Dennis Yu. He owns one of the biggest Facebook, advertising agencies in the world, but he only deals with like NBA teams and stuff like that. But you do, $1 a day. He calls it the $1 a day strategy. And it works because $1 a day, it's nothing. And you grab your best performing, post, and you boost them with $1 a day in your farming area, and you just forget about them. It's less than a cup of coffee. How many people go out and spend $5 in Starbucks a day or more? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you're not willing to spend $5 between 5 posts that will run 24/7. It's a commercial that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in your area. I've actually tested this with a podcast that I have. When I was testing it in downtown, I live downtown Lauderdale, I actually ran an ad. I put $10 a day on it, and I just ran it in a 1-mile radius downtown where I live. And sure enough, I went out, and people will recognize me. It's like, I know you from somewhere. Weren't you doing a show or something? It's like, yeah, that's me. It works. I call it the Kardashian effect. People, when you get in front of them and you're constantly in front of them 24/7, they know who you are. So, I'm using the real estate example, but this can work for anything. Whether you're a mortgage broker, you're a plumber, you are a mechanic. The possibilities are endless. Just talk about your knowledge. Write it down. Sit down, write down what you know, mm-hmm. and then just do a few posts a day and you'll get out there.
But what about Instagram ads, and how does that differ from Facebook ads?
It's not. Facebook owns Instagram. So right. When you go on the platform to run ads, it actually gives you the option to add Instagram placements. So, it used to be that you will go in there and manually choose where you want your ads to show. So, it was back in the day, it used to be the news feed, the Instagram feed, stories, audience network, which is basically real estate that Facebook owns on all their sites or high traffic sites. You go in there, and now it's all automatic. The algorithm does a pretty good job about placing your ad in front of the right audience with the right placement. And you'll be amazed how Facebook is good at, placing that ad in front of the right audience in the right platform. So it could be Instagram, it could be Messenger, it could be WhatsApp. WhatsApp is owned by Facebook as well. An example of the audience network that people don't think about is, they own real estate in CNN or Fox News, in both. And your ad will show up on that page in Fox News or CNN, depending on who your audience is, and it's native. It looks like it's, part of it. And you'll be amazed how many people convert from there.
Is it possible to advertise on Instagram and not Facebook?
Yeah. When you're selecting your campaigns, again, there's at the ad set level, and I showed this in the Pixlfeed YouTube channel. I'll walk people how to do this. You can actually go in there, choose manual placements, and then you can unselect everything you want and just do Instagram if that's what you're looking for. But I'm telling you right now, if you try to do that, your ads are going to be a lot more expensive because now you're choking the algorithm. If you if you select automatic placements, then your costs are going to go way down and Facebook's going to choose. Facebook is pretty good at knowing where that person that's going to convert is hanging out at.
How about, the testing, the A/B testing and such things in terms of deciding on which ads you want to go with? Can you talk through that?
Sure. Are you talking in terms of the actual ad itself, the creative, or the actual landing page or funnel?
No, I'm talking about the actual ad itself, the creative. Like, and I don't know. I'm asking the question if
sure.
There's a certain amount that you got to spend with your testing before you decide on which ads you're going to choose and spend money on.
Sure. So it depends. It really depends on the niche that you're in or the career that you have. It all comes down to the competition and how many people are interested in your product. Whether that's a service offer and an actual physical product. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. So I can literally spend, I don't know, $10, $20 in one day and just look at the metrics and I'll go, that's a good one, right? And I'll let it go. There's others that, if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to have to wait to see if people convert or not. The magic timing that I give people, if you're dealing with small budgets, if you're starting out, and you're only spending, $5, $10 a day or even $25 a day, let it run for 3 days. If in 3 days you're not getting the results that you're looking for, then you kill. Do not get emotional. Do not get, don't look at the stats and be like, oh, it's almost there. It's almost there. If you don't get what your objective is in 3 days or less, kill. It's not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to waste a lot of money before it does. And that's, that's the advantage of somebody who knows what they're doing and somebody who's testing. But back to your point of A/B testing, that's to see if your targeting is on point, if your offer is on point. Now, once you know your offer is dialed in with your audience and you know that your price is dialed in or your service is good to go, then you test different creatives. You can actually go in there and I always suggest you got to test more than one. So people tend to do just one picture or tend to do one video. No, you never know what people are going to choose or what they're going to go for. Just because you like it doesn't mean others like it. So I don't launch a campaign with anything less than 5 different variables, right? And again, you let it run for 3 to 4 days and you're going to see what people are liking the most. And based on that, then what you can do is like, okay, this is my 2 winning creatives. All right. So I'm going to let this go if it's profitable. Just let it keep going for as long as it can go before it gets ad fatigue. And I'll just grab those and then you can do this thing it's called duplicating, where you can actually duplicate the ad set itself along with the creatives just with a touch of a button. And then, only select the ones that are winning and then boom, duplicate and go. And then ideally your cost should go down, your conversion should go up, which will bring your CPA cost per acquisition down.
So tell us a little bit about your clients. What kind of clients are you serving right now?
So that's kind of a tricky question. So I have 3 types of clients. I'm a pretty busy guy. So one type of clients is consulting, where I go in there and consult with different firms and companies, in their digital strategies and marketing because they have in-house teams that do everything for them. Usually the teams that they have, are people who went to college and got a marketing degree, but they're not, they don't deal with these platforms daily. So they don't know I don't like to say tricks and hacks because it's an overall strategy, but there's things that they don't think about because they're not constantly testing as I do or we do every day. You know what I mean? Trying to hack the system per se. So you consult with them, you can, tell them what's going on. Then I look at their marketing and just, make changes, suggest changes, set strategies for them. Then I have a Pixlfeed media, that's pure e-com. That's for only e-commerce stores. The team that I have in there in place for creatives, Google, and then, I overview everything that's Facebook. That's for only e-commerce stores. We will go in there. If you have a proven store, a proven product, you're already getting sales, whether it's organically or whether you're starting on your own, we'll go in there. We'll look at your store. We'll modify everything that we need to modify because to make it convert even better because we've been doing this for so long, especially me, that I know what works and what doesn't. When I look at a website, it's going to drive your conversions up. And we deal with companies that are doing 6 figures or more, and we take them to the next level, scale them to the world. And then YouTube. Then I have the YouTube channel and the podcast. The YouTube channel is more for people starting out, like the single entrepreneur or the person who's trying to learn a little bit of Facebook ads, to do Facebook ads on their own for their own stores, or to, do basic lead generation, basic Facebook ads. I teach a lot about Facebook ads on there, a lot about funnels, strategies, conversion optimization, email sequences, copywriting, everything that I know, basically all the knowledge that I've gained in the past, 20 years. And then on top of it, all the digital stuff, that I do every day. And then Pixlfeed Radio is just, that was like a side project that I added to the YouTube channel, where it's just talking about business with people that I like, just see what they're doing, their backstory, and then, how they did it. I've had a few, old clients that we work with, and they tell their whole story, how they started their store, how they started to scale it, and what they're doing to take it to the next level and stuff like that. So I've met some very, very interesting individuals and with interesting and great stories as well.
In terms of sourcing your clients, what's your process for that?
Sourcing. Okay. So that's a tricky one. So sourcing, Facebook. When I started, it was Facebook. Well, I know how to run ads, so I'm going to run my own Facebook ads. So I did that when I was working with small clients. Unfortunately, the guys who run, big companies, 8-figure stores and stuff like that are not hanging on Facebook all day. So then that's not where they hang out. So I've used a combination of LinkedIn, ads. We have a funnel built. So we run LinkedIn ads now. We do email marketing, cold email, believe it or not. What else? And now people are, they come to me because I've been around for so long, especially with the YouTube channel. It's starting to take off. So now I'm getting people that just, watched the video or saw somebody told them in the marketing team, hey, we got to talk to this guy. We're going to talk to him. And they just come in. So it's a combination of everything. And it's interesting because, I've been in sales my whole life basically. And the difference between, doing cold, traffic, even if you have a fantastic funnel or cold email or cold calling even, it takes a lot of convincing and getting through objections, when you're doing your pitch to close that client either on the spot or a couple of days later, right? When they come to you, they're already pre-framed. It's like doing it online. They already know who you are. They're pre-framed that you were, a referral from somebody or whatever. And at that point, it's pretty much like, okay, what are we doing? And here's a budget. Here's how much it is, and sign right here, and we're ready to go.
So for solopreneurs or people that are just getting started in the digital space, any words of advice from you in terms of how they need to improve or expand on their digital presence?
Creating content. That's the one. I mean, I don't want to sound like everybody else, but you got to create content. You have to talk about what you know, right? So not every there's this misunderstanding that you should be posting on every single platform. You should, but you should be doing that when you can afford somebody else to do it for you. I don't do all my posts myself. Like YouTube, I do like all the videos and stuff like that, but I don't post the videos. I don't edit the videos. I'll shoot them and that's it. I'm done with it, right? I like YouTube because I'm a video guy. I don't mind being in front of the camera and I love to talk. So I can get my message across and I can plan it out. I can do, stories. But depending on what your service is, you choose the platform. So if you're a professional that's B2B, you should be posting 1,000,000 times a day on LinkedIn. And that's it. Don't worry about anything else. You can worry about the other ones later. All right. If you offer a service, so you're a dentist or a real estate agent, where's your audience at? Facebook and Instagram. That's where they're hanging out at. That's your regular consumer, moms, dads, whatever. If you have if you're shy, right? There's a lot of people that are shy and introverts. Write a blog. You start writing a blog a day, write it out, and just put it out there. You can get WordPress is completely free, and just write a blog a day. You know how many people I know that are great writers and they can't get in front of the camera, but they're such fantastic writers to get these clients just because of the way they break things down. There's a platform called Medium. You want to get paid for your content? Start posting on Medium. Now you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to get paid for posting your content, right? People can make like $3,000 per blog post in there. It's crazy, or more, once you develop a following. So you can get paid for that. And then you can get clients from that as well. So, it all comes back to you. Like, I couldn't tell you, yeah, I don't make money on my YouTube channel. Like, not, but I will, it's not, YouTube is more for people to waste time. Very few people are looking for solutions on Facebook ads or digital media or whatever. So yes, I do get tons of views, but not compared to, one of these teenage idols, right? So, but the cool thing about it is like, yeah, I might not make that much money on the AdSense itself, but the clients that I've gotten from it have paid a lot. I mean, it's made its returns 100 times over, so that's why I keep doing it. So you got to look at it that way. Don't look for the immediate return. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So my suggestion is, one channel that you feel comfortable with, whatever that platform is, and just do it at least 3 times a day if you can, depending on if it's just post 3 times a day or 5, if it's a blog post or something like that, just do 1 a day. If it's YouTube, 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just keep to a schedule and it will eventually, I promise you, it will pay off. The other thing I can tell you, it's back to the selling thing. And the best explanation that I've heard for this one is from a guy called Gary Vee. If you don't know who Gary Vee is, he owns one of the biggest marketing firms out there. And he's like a motivational speaker and a hardworking guy, blah, blah, blah. And he has an explanation. He has this definition of jab, right hook. And what that means is that you offer content, and then you ask for the sale. So you're not selling 24/7. Once they trust you and you ask for the sale, you already got the permission to ask for the sale. So you're good to go. You're not, it's just like some of these Facebook ads that I see. It's like, buy my product. No, man, you got to warm up people. So, you wouldn't run to a celebrity that's eating dinner and put your your phone on their face and take a picture. I'm sure people do, and that's super rude. But that's what you're doing when you're just saying, buy my product all day long. How about you just explain the benefits of your product and then you retarget them with the ad to actually sell your product, and you'll be amazed how much cheaper your conversions are.
What's your take on TikTok?
Love it. I love it. I've had TikTok before it was TikTok. It was Musical. And when it was Musically, some of my friends, teenage daughters and kids that were using it, and I knew it was going to be big. I knew it was going to be big because I would just see it like growing and growing and growing. And then once ByteDance bought them out and turned it into TikTok, that's when it got out of control. TikTok is one of those that it's completely misunderstood. If you know what you're doing and you know who your audience is, you're going to get business out of it because it's not just people dancing to music. It's the algorithm it's extremely well done. So, it's because of the access they get to your phone. That half of it shouldn't be there, but it is. So when you're going through that feed, here's the difference. Okay, so let me explain it to you this way. So Facebook, if you like something on Facebook or Instagram, let's say a pair of shoes, your feed is going to be shoes for the next 6 hours, both on Instagram and Facebook, all related to shoes. TikTok, on the other hand, gives you a nice mix of everything you like. So if you like shoes, it'll show you shoes, but then in between, it'll show you other things that you're into. So I think the algo is a lot better when it comes to that, and the ad platform, it's basically almost like Facebook. So their ad platform is going to be huge. It's going to be big for sure.
And how about Twitter?
Twitter, I just, it's funny. I just started using Twitter this year, using it for real. I've had one since I was a kid, but I never used it. But I personally use Twitter to connect and to communicate with colleagues. So it's not even about hashtags. I found 1 or 2 people in the industry that I look up to. And then I started following their posts and I started commenting on their posts. And then I started following people that actually, that will post in the comments or whatever that I like what they had to say. And next thing you know, I have this huge network of some of the top media buyers in the world, and I'm friends with them, and now I'm in private groups with them and we talk all day long. So a platform is what you make of it. Okay? No one has the same feed, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, whatever. My feed is what I make it. So my feed, it's literally the close friends that I care about and all my marketing groups that I follow. That's it. Meanwhile, I have friends whose feed, it's all political arguments. So if you use these tools to improve yourself or take your career to the next level, you can do that. Now, if you choose to become a user and just waste your time on it, that's on you, you know?
With the changes that we're seeing with the current pandemic and all, how's that affected your business?
It literally like quadrupled my business. It was crazy. So when it first went down, so here's what happened. So when it was announced, everything went down, the lockdown went down, people freaked out and pulled budgets. So I was like, okay, I understand we have agreements and all that, but you all understand what's going on. No one knew what was going to happen. So we paused everything and I was pretty stressed out. And literally 4 days later, the traffic in all the stores that we do work with and my personal stores just went crazy. It was like Black Friday for like 2 months. Like we were seeing literally Black Friday traffic for 2 months straight nonstop. And I actually just saw a study, data that we see e-commerce growing, 2% every year, 3% every year, or up to 5%. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but then this year it grew by 40%. So that means 40% of people are buying online, which we knew that was going to happen, right? I mean, e-commerce sales only account for like 10% of all retail sales. It's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. How often do you order from Amazon? How often do you buy something online? I literally just went to buy shoes on Friday, and they didn't have the shoes that I wanted. I went through 3 different stores. No one had it in stock. So I ended up ordering online, and I just went to the store because I'm going to buy a new pair of shoes to go out tonight. It was just like, but people are not keeping inventory. That's the other thing. It happened with one of my stores, the suppliers. They're not getting the materials that they need to make the items. So, there's delays as well because the demand, skyrocketed. People are bored doing nothing. And then they threw, the checks, the stimulus checks. So everyone's like, oh, we're going to get money. So we're good to go. And they were spending money like it was out of control. And then, I want to say end of July, August, that's when it started to slow down. But, that's summer too. So I guess people got sick of being locked up at home and they were doing, outdoor activities and, people losing their jobs and not knowing if they were going to get money again. So that hit pretty hard.
Right. So what's on the docket for you for the upcoming years? What's the plan with your company?
Just keep growing. The agency side of things, the e-com side of things. The one brand that I have, it keeps growing year over year. I'm launching a new brand with one of my old clients out of all people. Her and I, we have a great relationship since we started working together. So we're launching a new store in about 2 or 3 weeks. We're shooting for 3 weeks where we had issues with like the product. So we keep redoing them. That's going to be in the jewelry niche. So that's going to be, I'm pretty excited about that one because women love to buy stuff online. And then just keep growing the e-com side, for clients and then YouTube and that's it. But at one point, I only take so many clients a month. I can't, it gets to a point where I like my personal life and my projects. So I can only take so many clients and I have no interest whatsoever in having like one of those agencies for like, Fortune 50 companies with like over 100 employees. Like I have no desire whatsoever. So keep it steady, keep it growing. I can pick and choose who I want to work with, and that's what brings me happiness, man.
Well, this has been great, Christian. This has been great learning about your business, getting some insights into digital marketing and advertising. Before I let you go, one takeaway for the listeners, anything that you'd like to share from your experience or any word of advice?
Don't be impatient. Don't be impatient. When I started with digital, I was very impatient. And there's, once you start messing with this stuff, all these algorithms are going to show you like all these guys trying to sell you courses and all this crazy stuff. And they're all in Lamborghinis and Ferraris and the whole 9 yards. And let me tell you, it doesn't happen overnight. You're going to fail. You're going to test and it's going to fail. And all I can tell you is test. And eventually, if you keep at it, it's going to click. That's how it was with me. One day, everything just happened to click because it's a lot of information. So just stick to it. Whatever your project is, stick to it. And I promise you, if you're starting organically, it's going to get tedious. It's going to get annoying. You're not going to see anything at first. And then one day you're going to see a spike where the algorithm just gives you that push. And that's when it starts paying off.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Christian. Wish you the very best with your business and hope to keep in touch.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
I hope you liked that episode and are enjoying all the episodes in Plan B Success podcast. I'd encourage you to go subscribe on your favorite platform, whether it's any listening platform or YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you subscribe so that you enjoy this content and extract from it what serves you best, what benefits you in your own life, personal, professional, business, whatever it might be. PlanB.live is the website where you can go in order to find any episode that you would like to listen to. 3 times a week, we release episodes, the first being an inspiring interview with someone who's done it, been there, done that, and can inspire you to go after what you want to achieve. Every Monday, that's the episode that gets released. And then, on Wednesdays and Fridays, we pick a topic and we talk about it in order to benefit you in your personal and professional life. At the same time, if you're someone who's interested in learning more about these concepts, if you're someone who's interested in podcasting as well, go check out planbsuccessschool.thinkific.com. That's where all the online courses are. You can learn and benefit from them there as well. There's a bunch of free courses. There's a bunch of paid courses. Start with the free ones. Get to learn what you aspire to learn. And if you want to delve deeper, then you can sign up for the other ones. Thank you very much.